What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, Fightful.com, FightfulWrestling.com, here with a voice that you are sure to know, Conrad Thompson, who always has something going on. Conrad, how you doing?
Man, I'm good, dude. I appreciate you having me on. That's nice of you to say. I hope that some of your listeners are listening to my stuff every week.
Oh, of course. I've made it no secret. I listen to both the Bischoff and Pritchard shows every single week. Really enjoy them. But you've got Starrcast going on. You just got married. You had the second edition of Starrcast coming up. I ask you this every time, but where do you find the time? Because those aren't even your primary sources of income.
Well, I'm not spending a lot of time at the gym lately, Sean, so that actually helps a little bit. No, the reality is I have a good team, both helping me with the podcasting and with Starrcast, and of course here at the mortgage company where I'm talking to you now. And I'm pretty good at delegating and time management, and I don't need a lot of sleep. So if you're willing to work from the minute you wake up till you go to bed, then you're good to go. But that's no problem for me because I enjoy what I do, man. I'm having fun. So
I'm if I'm understanding this, you're saying you don't need to be in the gym to kick MJF's ass.
No, MJF, as Tony Schiavone says, is a little prick. And let me go ahead and give you a spoiler right now. He is officially banned from Starrcast II, so you won't be seeing him as part of our Starrcast festivities.
Well, somebody who isn't banned is Sting, who you got for Starrcast II. How did this come about? How did you land him?
Well, it's sort of fun because when the first one happened, it's the worst, without question, the worst weekend of my life. Because I just wasn't as prepared as I should have been. But it's one of those things that, I've talked to Cody about where, you don't know what you don't know. I'd never done it before. So I had a bunch of good ideas. But then in execution, you realize, oh, man, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. But along the way, too, you tried to book some guys who, for whatever reason, the schedule just didn't permit. There was some conflicts here or there, and it just didn't make sense. Well, now this time around, I'm saying, okay, I've learned from what we can improve on from the first Starrcast, from the overall fan experience. But the other thing I want to do is I want to have something new and fresh. We had a lot of events at the last Starrcast, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of those same customers who flew to Chicago. Well, now they're just going to fly to Las Vegas this Memorial Day. How do I give them something different? So I went through a list of, hey, who wasn't there the first time? And to my surprise, dude, I got almost unanimous yeses across the board. I don't know if it was scheduling magic. Somebody was looking out for me somewhere, but Sting is the first in a long list of Hall of Famers who weren't at the first Starrcast who won't miss the second one in Las Vegas.
So I'm sure you've heard this plenty. What are you going to do if this guy shows up and he's not tan?
Well, I'm hoping that he's not tan because the Sting we all know and love was not tan. He was the Crow character was not supposed to be tanned, and I won't let Eric Bischoff keep me from making this the main event.
So you mentioned about you don't know what you don't know. Starrcast, the first one was a resounding success. A lot of great stuff that I watched remotely from Fight. And you all had a lot of different angles covered. Was there anything that you wanted to make work for the first Starrcast and it didn't end up happening, or it almost happened and didn't happen? What kind of insight can you provide there?
Well, a few of those, but most of them are, performers who, for whatever reason, just weren't available and couldn't make the weekend work. Everyone that I wanted at the first one that I couldn't get, I got for the second one. And I could not grin any bigger when I look at this lineup of events that we're going to push out. And every day this week, we're going to be announcing another batch of Hall of Famers who are going to be making their way to Starrcast because tickets go on sale for a pre-sale for our loyal Starrcast customers who bought platinum and gold bracelets last year. They're going to get an opportunity to snatch those up at the first of next week, but then they go on sale for everybody next Friday. So if you've thought about making plans to go to Double or Nothing, you don't want to miss Starrcast because I've got a lot of tricks up my mighty big sleeves.
Also, I see on the website, it looks that Fight's going to be integrated and involved yet again.
Yeah, Fight was a big part of what we were doing last year, and I'm going to try to find a way to make that happen again this year. We're actually doing a site survey with Fight later this week in Las Vegas to say, hey, here's how we would position cameras and where we would set up everything we need for their internet requirements and things like that. But the plan right now is very much to try to bring that program to Fight. So if the travel weekend doesn't work out for you, maybe you've got to be out of town, or you've got some sort of family commitment, Your brother's getting married that weekend. You just can't swing it financially. Whatever the case may be, we're going to find a way to make the shows affordable, live in HD, and of course on demand through the Fight app.
Yeah, that was a great thing about that weekend was I got to take in a lot of this content that I wasn't in Chicago to see, but Starrcast had a lot of really, really good stuff. Are these Starrcast events going to be regular with the larger AEW events? It seems like the two are pretty married and tied together.
Well, I don't know that it's necessarily married to AEW. You know, the first person I originally presented the idea to is Cody Rhodes. And Cody believed in me and took a chance on me when he absolutely didn't really know me. I mean, we had only been in each other's presence maybe a dozen times, but never really even had extensive conversations beyond his appearance on a podcast that I was hosting. So the idea that he saw the vision for what I saw and rolled the dice and we made it a success and it didn't wind up like the Fire Festival is remarkable. And so I want to do these type of events with Cody involved any chance I get. You know, of course, last year he wasn't involved with AEW and that wasn't even a thing at the time. And it was a huge success. And I don't expect that to change at all. But you know, how long and how many of these we'll do, I can't really say because, you know, this time a year ago, I thought I was one and done. And certainly on the heels of that weekend, I swore I would never do it again. But when they're doing, you know, a follow-up show to All In, and it was so special, and to come back and call it Double or Nothing and do it in Las Vegas, there was no way I was telling Cody no. So we're putting the band back together. You know, I'm not going to be like some promoters and say, this is the last one ever, even though I did that last time. I said that out of frustration personally.
Sure. But
we don't necessarily have, you know, plans for this to be, you know, an annual event or a semi-annual event. When it makes sense, we would love to. And I think the world of Tony Khan and what he's trying to put together. But my loyalty on this Starrcast venture is most definitely with Cody Rhodes.
When you compare Chicago to Las Vegas and landing a venue, finding a venue, how does that stack up? Because, I mean, obviously, Las Vegas is a huge tourism city.
Well, that's the thing that has presented a unique set of problems from the first Starrcast. Is the first time that we did Starrcast, we were so far removed from Chicago. Even though everybody sort of called it Chicago, it was Schaumburg. And the actual wrestling event happened in Hoffman Estates. So they're suburbs of Chicago and a good ways out, you know, depending on which airport you were going to. It was a half hour or an hour from the airport, you know, certainly with Chicago traffic being what it is. Well, Vegas is a whole lot different. You know, Vegas, there are so many entertainment options and there are so many hotel resorts. And that weekend, Memorial Day weekend, is a destination. Really, though, Schaumburg and Hoffman Estates, maybe not exactly Labor Day destinations at the top of everybody's list, but Vegas is. So it did present a certain amount of challenges, not only from an overhead standpoint as a promoter, because the space is more expensive and the financial commitment from my part is more expensive, but realistically, the worry I have is, are we going to make it so expensive for fans who are trying to fly in? Because I know a lot of my buddies, when they tried to book flights, they tried to use points. And those were blackout weekends because it's such a popular destination. And a lot of the other hotels that maybe would have been my first choice just based on sort of name recognition, you know, that Saturday night, you know, their rooms were $450. You know, so some I saw at $350, but more of them were closer to $400 or more before they put those daily resort fees on. So I really had to lean on my partner on my Starrcast team, Scott, who knows the hotel industry backwards and forwards, to find really good properties that were really excited to have us and could get us a big block of rooms and can do so affordably. And Scott was able to help us secure rooms for as low as $79 for Thursday and Sunday night. And the peak nights of Friday and Saturday were only $99 and $109. And he even managed to get the daily resort fee waived, which is an automatic roughly $40 a day, no matter where you stay in Las Vegas. So we wanted to try to make this experience, you know, exciting and fun and all encompassing, but not, you know, one that breaks the bank. And I think we've sort of cracked the Vegas code, and we've got the right set of deals lined up at Starrcast.com.
Obviously, your connections within wrestling are almost second to none at this point, but you do these shows with Tony and Eric and Bruce. Do you get any insight from them as you're heading into the first Starrcast? Like, maybe their experience of running buildings or anything that they might realize?
Well, Bruce told me, hey, as good as you think everything's going to go and as much planning as you thought, you've put into this, everything's going to change 2 days before, and then it'll change again the day before. And then what you go into the day of, none of it is going to happen the way you think. So just know that going in, and don't get rattled when it doesn't go exactly as planned, and you'll be fine. So that really threw me off because he told me that about 2 weeks out. And I thought, man, I have spent so many countless nights working on this. This is going to be flawless. Well, he was sort of right. There were changes and there were things I never expected and last minute surprises, but we weathered the storm. And I think everybody on the other side, by and large, the overwhelming response we got was, it's the greatest wrestling weekend ever. And I'm so glad I came. And if we can just get, half of that same level of satisfaction from fans this time, I think, we're in for a real treat. But I've made sure that the actual card, what people are going to see at Starrcast, not wrestling matches, but actual events and experiences, it's even bigger, even better than last time. So I don't see many people coming away from this disappointed, and it'll just be more stress for me when the logistics of this plane is late or that guy missed a pickup. That type of stuff I was not ready for last time, but I'll be more ready this time.
I mean, Disco Inferno missed an entire goddamn boat for the Jericho cruise. Like, it was the running joke that weekend. Did you have who did you run into issues with the first time? Like, who completely missed the event?
We had a couple who weren't able to make it, but I don't want to use your platform to sort of throw anybody under the bus. But yeah, we definitely had some communication issues, and we had some things that we could improve on, and we had some things where we probably just decided to part ways. But what we're looking for is the best fan experience, and so it's okay if a performer were to disappoint me. I'm not the paying customer. I represent the fans, and if the fans are disappointed, then that's not a good look. And so if we had fans disappointed last year, we're probably going to try to do everything we can to avoid that this year.
Well, hey, if you ever do want to bury anybody, I'm more than willing to listen. I'm just saying. You clearly had a relationship with WWE with the Something Else to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard podcast. We've seen how they've reacted to some stuff in relation to AEW. Have you had any contact with them since the announcement of AEW or since the announcement of Starrcast II?
Yeah, I'm friendly with a lot of those guys, and nobody has said anything negative to me about either front. Everybody I've talked to about AEW sees it as a good thing for the business, and I think a lot of people are rightfully so taking a wait and see approach, and I think that's the right thing to do. I don't think it's smart to sort of overreact. Let's let it be what it is and not have a different set of expectations, because so many people are quick to say, oh, this is WCW. What's wrong with just letting it be AEW? And, just enjoy it for what it is and don't necessarily try to forecast what it will or won't be. But no, I do have a good terms and a good relationship with WWE, and I'm not crossed with them, and we haven't fallen out of favor. And I know everybody wants to jump to the rumor and innuendo that, that means there's definitely no second season of Something Else to Wrestle with. That's not true. No one's ever said that. We signed up to do one season with the understanding that it would be like a regular TV show, that it's going to drop around the same time at the same time of year, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, even you go back and you look at the Edge and Christian show. I mean, how long was between season 1 and season 2? It was forever, but that doesn't mean they're gone. It just means people are doing different things, but they were never cross. It just wasn't the right time. The timing wasn't right. And I haven't had one crossword, nor has Bruce, with anyone from WWE about anything with AEW or Starrcast or anything like that, because everybody who paid attention last year at Starrcast knows that it wasn't a Ring of Honor event. It wasn't a WWE event. It wasn't an Impact event. It was just a wrestling convention, not unlike WrestleCon or NWA Legends Fan Fest or any of those, with the exception of there were stage shows. But really, that's the only difference, and it's not necessarily owned by any company. It's owned by an individual, which is weird to say, but Starrcast is a Conrad thing, not an AEW thing. but we do have all of my AEW friends there. Just like I was at the AEW rally when it was like the kickoff rally. I don't work for AEW, but Tony Khan's my friend, and he asked me to do it, and I jumped at the chance to do so.
Just a reminder for everybody, pre-sale starts Tuesday, February 12th at 8 p.m. Eastern. General public on sale is Friday, February 15th at noon Eastern. You all can get this information at Starrcast.com. As we wrap up, a question or not necessarily a question I get, but I see pointed at you a lot. When you were on that first season of Something Else to Wrestle With, you had the Starrcast logo, the hat in the back. Did you get any feedback from WWE or the producers about that?
No, in fact, I did, but not the way you would think. A couple of times the producers who were working with us live when we were recording the show would say, hey, you might want to adjust this sign in your background. We're getting a glare. So that they were totally cool with us doing our own outside projects. And when we had that contract, I had an inclusion in there for Starrcast, even though nobody else knew I was doing Starrcast. When we negotiated that deal with WWE, we made sure it was in there that I'm still going to do the Bruce Pritchard show, and I'm still going to do the Eric Bischoff show, and I'm still going to do the Tony Giovanni show, and oh yeah, I'm still going to do Starrcast. So WWE knows that this stuff exists, and it was discussed well in advance, and there's nothing that's sort of a surprise anywhere. And in fact, they're supportive. So I know that spoils the narrative that everyone's at odds and everybody is sort of out to get each other, but that is definitely not the case with Bruce Pritchard, myself, and WWE.
You all can follow Conrad at Hey It's Conrad on Twitter. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Hey, let me give you a spoiler. We got another Hall of Famer, one that has recently been in the news that we're announcing tonight as appearing at Starrcast. So old school WWF fans will rejoice.
Nice. Thank you so much. And we encourage everybody, check out Starrcast.com. Fightful will have a presence both there and at Double or Nothing. Really looking forward to it. But thank you so much.
Hey, man, thanks for taking the time. Thanks for having me on.